Okay. Hello everyone. So let us start our today's session. A very warm welcome to all of you in this meeting. And before starting the session, I will mention some of the important points. First of all, starting with my introduction, my name is Sumit Kumar. I am PMR Research Scholar at IIT Dhanbad. And during this session, from the last 9 weeks, we are taking the course of Geotechnical Engineering 2 in which we are reading what are the different aspects which we have read in the geotechnical engineering one, or maybe the subject name you know as soil mechanics. We try to implement those concepts in a practical implementation through the geotechnical engineering 2 course. So we are moving forward. You have seen the last 9 lectures with me, and I think so many one of you are not over here at the live meeting, but I have seen that many of you have attended in the YouTube session. So I think it will be helpful, and whatever the confusion doubts we have asked, I try to resolve over there. So I think so this course is going very well. Okay. So the instruction which I usually use to state from the last 9 session, I will add again here for the audience. So the first instruction is that this video is going to be recorded and will be shared with you by the NPTEL team. And apart from that, at any point of time, due to any network issue, if I get disconnected, so please be remain in the meeting. I will rejoin and go ahead in a meeting. And one additional point I want to mention, must solve the problems. Whatever has been discussed over here, solve the same problem as well as some new problem from the book, as I always state during the session or at the end of the session. Okay, so now I think so we can start with our course. Let me share my presentation so we will go ahead. Okay. I think so. My presentation will be visible to everyone. Yes, it is visible. Okay, so from here onward, we will go with the content and we will discuss what are the different things which we need to discuss over here. We will go in a detailed discussion about the today concerned topic like the seed file was, and some more things which we are plan to discuss today. Specifically, in this week, if you have attended the lecture of the sir, you have seen over there that the three classes has been taken during the weekend, in which the bulkhead and some more points has been discussed. So I will try to capture the theoretical aspects of those parts, like what are the significance, what are the importance, what are the advantages, what are the problems, and how those problems can be dedicated. Apart from that, the some points which we have left behind during our last session due to time constant will also be covered earlier, and some problems related to that has been taken. Afterward, we will move to those concepts because only three class is there, so the content will be similarly with respect to that. So I think so we will cover the entire concern in today's session without any failure, without any problem. So again, we will start with the session. Okay, so this topic, geotechnical engineering 2, this has been well known to you. I have discussed its importance from very first class. Like every structure has been stand on the soil. So the soil is the most important commodity. When we read geotechnical engineering, it become our prime objective to understand each and every part about the subject because its understanding is so important. If we doesn't find the proper knowledge of this concern. So any structure, either it is a roadway, railway, or maybe some buildings, everything stand on soil. So any place you go, you see, you find that the geotechnical aspects become the building block, basically the basic block, the first step because whenever you see any things, it's go step by step. So it is the first baby step toward the construction of any infrastructure project or any building or any construction. So we are looking forward to do so. In order to that, we must have the knowledge of geotechnical engineering and geotechnical engineering too. So in geotechnical engineering one, we have read the basic concepts. We have understand how those basic concepts could be implemented. In this coursework, we have read the practical example, practical implementation of the concerned works projects, which has been done often, which has been understood in the classes, how it could be implemented actually in the field problems. That things which we have discussed during this coursework. In this coursework, we have discussed the shear strength. We have understood the what do we mean by shear strength. We also understood about the earth pressure theory. So, and apart from that, the different tests in the shear test, we have understood the different tests like the box test and triaxial test and the shear test. We have discussed about those aspects that how those condition will help us in understanding the concepts in a better way. Okay. So I think so up to this point everything will be clear. So now we will go ahead and see the things which we want to discuss for today. Okay. So first of all, this is about the seed pile wall. Specifically, if you remember, we left over here during the last session. So we will start from there only, and afterward we will move ahead with more concerned points, which will be find very useful for all of you in order to get the better understanding of these aspects. Okay. So the seed pile wall. The seed, whenever we say seed pile wall, its definitions should be came in our mind. So the seed pile wall is a retaining wall. It's not anything different when you see seed pile wall. It doesn't mean it is any new thing. It is a type of retaining wall only, or it is a retaining wall only in itself constructed to retain the earth, water, or any other fill material. When we talk about it, retain earth, water, or any other fill material, so its application takes place at different steps. When you want to retain the earth, the purpose of work might be different. When you want to retain the water, maybe some construction work is going on beside that. That's why we want to retain the water over there. And when we are talking about any fill, that aspects also respect to the some practical implementation which is taking place at that section. Okay, I think so. Well and good. So now, see the seed pile was specifically consist of a series of seed piles driven side by side into the ground, thus, forming a continuous vertical wall for the purpose of detaining earth bank. Specifically, when we take the three concepts over here only, we have came to know what are the aspects which we are looking at. So we are looking to retain the structures like retain the material like soil or maybe some other field, maybe water besides it. So that aspects which we are looking for. Okay. Now the seed pile walls are the type of retaining more commonly used in civil engineering and the construction projects. It has been written in the last slide as well, but as a title statement for this section, it has been mentioned again. Okay, now the seed piles are designed to provide the structural support and to retain the soil or water on one side while allowing for excavation or the development on the other side. Some more information about the seed pile wall. So we see first of all the material which has been used in the construction and then the installation. Talking about the construction material, the seed pile walls are made up of steel. Normally it has been seen, but they could also be constructed from the materials like concrete, When we talk about installation process in a field, so these all consist of individual seed pile sections that are driven into the ground using the specialized equipments like pile drivers or vibratory hammers. They are interlocked with the one another to form the continuous barrier because it has been to be inserted in the soil in order to sustain the soil water whatever you want to sustain beside it. So these walls need to be installed in a proper mechanism so it will create a interlocking behavior over there in order to provide the retention. If it doesn't take place, it lead to the problems. What type of problems? When we are talking about problems, it lead to the problem like it lead to the sorry, it lead to the problem like it couldn't serve the purpose for which we are trying to design this section at those places. Okay, now now we talk about the various types of seatbelt walls. We are not talking about this concern only. We again see the types of wall. We again see the application of these type of seatbelt walls and the different usage of seatbelt walls. Some points may be repeated. Some new points came under the same subheading at some point of time. But they are the theoretical aspects which I am looking at for taking care of. And afterward, we will go ahead with some question. Sorry, there is a problem over here which has been asking about the types. What are the different types of seed pile walls? So the Z type, Q type, L type, and flat seed piles are the sum of the types of seed pile walls. So let's take each one in one by one. What are the differences? What are the aspects which we are look for at which places what we are constructing? That is also one aspect. So let's see what we are trying to discuss over here. Then we go step by step by taking the small steps because to reach a destination, taking a small step in a good manner is more appropriate as compared to starting all things in one direction at a time and doesn't able to sustain any objective. So we will go step by step. Okay. So the first of all, the various type of seed pile was. So first one is jet type. These have a shape resemble the letter Z and commonly used in the both temporary and permanent application. Second one is the U type. U-shaped seed pile walls are often used for the application requiring a higher section modulus to resist the bending moment. Yes, you can see every seed pile walls have some applications which may be similar or might be some more addition to the other. Like you have seen in a Z type seed pile wall, it resembles the letter Z. Similarly, U shape has the shape of U and that is that type is used to made a temporary or permanent application. But while we are talking about the U type sheet file was, its application is to provide a higher section modulus to resist the bending moment because we know m by y equal to sigma by y, m equal to sigma into z. So z is the section modulus. Z is more than the moment resisting capacity is also going to be more. So we are looking in that direction in order to sustain our objective. I think so. Everything will be clear up to this. Now, see the L type seed pile wall. So the L shaped seed piles are used for the application where anchoring or the structural support is necessary because if the structural support is not needed and at that place you try to provide it, it may hamper the services. It may result to sorry, mm, it may result in the different aspects which we doesn't want to achieve at that section. Now, the flat sheet piles. So the flat sheet piles are the flat sections and sometimes used for the copper dams or the cutoff walls. So these type of different CFS was at different places. We will move ahead and see the application. The I already say from the very first class, whenever we read anything, we see its significance, its mode of application, its advantages, its disadvantages. So that become very much important in order to achieve our target and understand the things which we are looking for. Okay. So now see the application of zip files were used in a wide range of applications. When you are talking about the wide range of application, what would be the different wide range? Excuse me. Okay. So we are talking about application. So the one of the application is the flood control because flood control is one of the most promising aspects applications which we are looking for because you see in day to day section specifically if you see in our country only recently if you are following news you have seen that there is due to heavy rain there is flood takes place in abroad which country in USA New York we have came across like such news article study only due to heavy rain there is a flood takes place over there. But in our country also you see the flood takes place in many part of the country during from if you take the time it takes place from the end of the March or from April May to almost August September. There is a probability at different places to flood to be happen. And it doesn't only happen due to the rainfall taking place at that location only, but it also lead to the formation of the flood zone at different places due to due to the different because it is not only that the flood takes place only due to the rainfall at that place only, but it also lead to the formation of the rainfall, formation of the excess points of water movement will be more, so it will lead to the more rainfall in those areas. So those concerns are one of the most important concerns where the seed pile application takes place. It is used to create a flood defense and leads to prevent the water from inundating in an area because we have seen during the floods there is a very fast movement and that takes place only due to the when the dams or the sections which have been created along the bank of the river get broken, so the water flow very rapidly inside the area and it will lead to the destruction in at a large state destruction of property. Sometimes it has been also seen that some of the casualty also observed during the flood season. In the present era, the communications become widespread, so these problems had been limited up to extent. But earlier, if you see the early sessions when there is no network communication is there, when there are only telephones, specifically, I am not talking very back, but you see when there is a flood came in during the times of 2000 to 2004, 2005, we have seen at that time only the mobile phones are not so popular. So the communications which has been provided from the government is also not reached to the people in a actual time, so it will lead to the several problems during the flood season. So those aspects now has been controlled, but see what are the conditions the people who doesn't know that whether the flood is going to come. There will be some news hampering in a city about the flood, but the proper aspects of information could not be spread out in such way. So it will lead to the going to be dangerous and lead to the loss of life of people and property in different regions. So those things need to be controlled at any cost. Okay, so we will go ahead now. Now see the marine structures. So the marine structures also the water pressure of waves has been hitting the section which ever constructed over there, maybe for different transportation purpose, for the transportation of goods or materials or whatever thing. But those needs to be also be designed. So the seat piles walls are commonly used there in the construction. So what construction we are looking at? The construction of sea walls, bulkheads, and the carry walls. So those aspects need to be understood by one and all. Now see, the next point is the foundation support. In the foundation support also we can see the seat pile walls are used, and they are used to support the excavation work and stabilize the surrounding soil during the construction. A retaining wall, okay, give me a minute. So there is another applications. So what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the applications. So I'm talking about the foundation support. You have seen that some excavation work takes place. We have read the shear strength chapter. Over there we have seen that the length of unsupported height. So over there also we have discussed that up to this depth we want to excavate, no support is needed, no scaffolding is needed. But afterwards, some support need to be provided for the purpose of excavation. So, in the foundation, construction of foundation, there is some excavation takes place, and that lead to be some problems. Maybe at some point of time for some structures, so those problems need to be stated. Those problems need to be solved. So, in order to do so, a support has been provided for the excavation work, and it will also provide the extra safety to the worker who are working over there, because during the excavation process sometimes it has been observed that the soil can fall down. So that it's become very important for the excavation purpose, because we also know that the unsupported depth is foreseen by gamma root k only, and it has been takes place in the clay soil only, and at that section also we provide the factor of safety of 2 or 3, so it has been reduced to half also. And in order to construct the foundations, maybe sometimes or the support of the foundation, the excavation is needed. So the pile wall provide the support and act as a temporary structure, as we have discussed earlier as well. When we are talking about the types, over there we have seen that some of the are the permanent while other are the temporary. So in this case, it act as a temporary, but this work has been not less than any other type of support which could be provided over there. Now, the retaining wall, the seat pile wall can serve as the retaining wall. It has been clear from its definition only. So, to prevent the soil or the water from the eroding or collapsing. So, this point is very much clear from the introduction slide, from the definitions of this section only. So, this has been repeated over here in a way. Okay. Now, now, we see, we have talking about its application, we are now talking about its use. It is not quite different from one another. Both are complementary to each other in a real sense. Okay. So first of all, I will rate the points. So the first is the retaining wall. Retaining wall, seat pile wall, segment used. These equipments also, the seat pile was serve the purpose, and the tunnels, pumping stations, water treatment plant, basements, underground parks, sports facilities, locks and dams, waterfront structure are the structure on which the water has been directly heating. It maybe sometimes take place of the alternate wetting and drying. So that is the waterfront structure. After that, the piled foundations, and then the excavations and trenches. Copper dams, we have seen the application of the flat sheet piles was in a copper dam, so it is also one of the aspects. And now the groundwater diversion, if you want to divert the water flowing in one direction to another direction, so it will lead to the so it will lead to a problem in a way. Now the barrier to the groundwater treatment system. Okay, so if you are treating, so the water from the other section doesn't enter during the treatment in order to provide that aspects of accuracy has been taken care of. Okay, now the contaminant was flood protection. We have seen the how the flood protection could take place with this, and the coastal protection, tunnel cut and over, backholes and sea was, weirs was, slopes at the stabilizations and the landfill. At these places, the seed pile box has been used. You can see the some of the these are the some of the most prominent usage. Apart from that, also some uses could be counted, it has been not that much impact as it could be. So the use of chip wire wall could be expanded in another direction as well. Now, see, now we are talking about the advantages which we could get with this knowledge. So, okay, so we will talk about that. Give me a minute. Okay, so see. Now we are talking about the advantage because everyone has everything, every topic, every concern have some advantages because if we assume, see, it is assumption. So the assumption is nothing but a faith in a way in order to provide the result. Okay, so see the advantage. Some advantage of the seat pile wall include their versatility, ease of installation, and the cost effective compared to the alternative retaining method. So it is one of the widest and one of the biggest advantage of the seat pile wall. The installation process is also tedious at some point of time for some people, so it becomes one of the most important advantage. Apart from it is also the cost effective as compared to the alternate retaining walls. Now, the environmental, when we talk about the environmental considerations, so the choice of material and the construction method for the seed pile walls can have environmental implications, and the efforts are often made to minimize their impact on the ecosystem and the aquatic life. So, we are talking about those aspects as well at the same point of time. Okay, now. When we came across the environmental consideration, so environmental consideration could be affected in different way. If we draw the seed pile wall inside the soil, it may lead to the formation of the earth, specifically water pressure at different point of times, and its variation could also state a region. Okay. Now, the maintenance. When we are talking about the maintenance, the proper maintenance is essential to ensure the long-term stability and the effectiveness of the ship pile walls, especially in the marine environment where the corrosion could occur. So, the maintenance is also one of the most important aspects which we are looking for. Now, the seed pile wall are an important engineering solution for the various construction and infrastructure projects. And their design and the implementation depend on the specific requirement and the site condition uh, of okay. So there is a term over here for which I have taken a pause is maintenance. So I am thinking about that the example. So okay. So the maintenance, the proper maintenance is essential to ensure the long-term stability and the effectiveness of the seed pile walls, especially in the marine environment where the corrosion can be concerned. So the seed pile walls are an important engineering solution for the various construction and the infrastructure projects and their design the implementation depend on the specific requirement and the site condition for each projects. Okay, well and good. Now we have seen earlier as well as Z type, U type, L type, data type. So now we are focusing on the types of sheet file wall if it has been stated in the definition. So we will take those points and implement in there. Okay, so over here I will take a small break of 2 minutes and then we will start. Okay, welcome back. So we will start again. So we are talking about the type of seed files. What are the types and where its application? Earlier we have seen the types. We have seen the types on the basis of different shapes. When we talk about shapes, so what are the shapes? The shapes like Z shape, U shape, L shape. So over there we are talked on the basis of types of shapes. Now our concern about the different application like material or maybe some other things normally the different material steel concrete or timber could be used but everything application couldn't take place at all locations so which location could be more feasible for uh, one type of seed piles while others to those aspects which we are going over here okay now the three primary applications which we are looking at okay am I audible yes okay three. So the steel seed piles are the most common type of seed piles and are available in a variety of processes and shapes. And timber seed piles are less commonly used but are still used in the some of the applications. You can normally see as well and in day-to-day application. But timber seed piles are not used specifically in the construction purposes like when we are talking about the substructure construction specifically to provide the support. So you see, if we use the timber sheet pile was, it has a limited repetition value. While in respective of that, if we use for temporary structure, so the steel sheet pile walls serve the purpose and it has a repeat value as well. So it will ultimately result in the reduction in cost. And steel pipes are constructed, could be manufactured for those purposes as well. But if we construct the timber sheet pile wall to a large extent, which has a limited application, limited times of application, so it will ultimately result in the reduction in the harassment of nature in a proper way if we see. So those concerns we should look into that. Okay. Okay. Now we are talking about the reinforced concrete sheet pile walls. The reinforced concrete sheet pile walls are very less commonly used of sheet pile walls and are often used in the permanent structures such as the sea walls or coffer dams. So the different types of sheet pile walls and its application at the different places we are looking into that. Now, okay. Now you see the several type of sheet pile walls which we have discussed right away. We are talking about the timber sheet pile walls, so that is the wooden sheet pile walls. We have to talk about the concrete sheet pile walls, which has a limited application. That is could be the precast concrete sheet pile walls. We have used the widely used seat pile was like the steel seat pile was. Aluminum seat pile was is also there, but that strength maybe there will be a problem. So we are not going into that detail. We have not the consideration or the aspects about knowing those facts specifically. Okay. Now, okay. See, the we talk about now we moved ahead and see its various types of wooden and concrete sheet pile walls. So over here you can see the in a first picture, the picture A, you see the cross sections has been visible, and in this section, in cross section, you can see how the picture A and picture B, the groove tongues and the spines has been provided to interlock each other. Similarly, for the concrete sheet pile wall, you can see where the cement grout has been provided, how the cross sections work over there, and how the elevation plans look like. Specifically, if you see the picture on the right hand side of the slide, so you could observe over here in a elevation, you see how the reinforcement has been provided in order to construct the sheet pile walls because it has been implemented in a vertical direction. So it need to be implemented like this. So the reinforcement has to be provided in a similar manner in order to serve the purpose which we are looking for. Okay. So, up to this understanding will be very much okay. We need not to be go in those aspects in very detail. Okay. Now see, and we talk about the advantages of the seat pile walls. So seat pile walls have a number of advantages, numerous advantages. Every aspect which we are looking at from the very first class, we concerned about the three important points. Whatever talking about its significance, whether it is significant for us or not, its application and its advantages as well as disadvantages, because it is not like that you understood the advantage of the specific thing and we neglect the disadvantage, because the disadvantage which it offers is specifically its limitation. So we need to understand that fact as well, that limitation also need to be understood by us. Okay, I think so. Well and good. Which concepts has been discussed again and again, and so that thing will be very much clear. Now, see what are the advantages it offers. These are relatively quick and easy to install. We have seen, and how its installation process takes place also has been discussed earlier in this classroom. Now, they can be used to retain a wide range of material. We have seen it can retain soil, it can retain voids, some other fill material as well, apart from that, the rocks. And its construction takes place at the different aspects for the different purposes. It has been used to create the temporary as well as permanent retaining wall. We have seen the examples over there where it has acted as a temporary structure and at some point of time maybe it act as a permanent structure. And if we are strong and durable, so if we are as I discussed earlier as well, some of this must have the replication value or some may not. So those aspects which need to be understood by us. Okay. Now, again, I say advantage and disadvantage are equally important because disadvantages are the limitations which one are not focusing on, and that is also of the equal importance in a process. So, the seed pile walls also have some disadvantages. What are those? They can be expensive to install. Obviously, it is expensive because yeah, once the installation process is also expensive, but the material which we use is also expensive as compared to if you talk about some retaining walls. I don't say retaining wall is very less expensive, but relatively when we talk about or in independent term we talk about it is expensive. We are not comparing with anything others. So and it is difficult to install if the strata is hard, and so it is not only difficult, sometimes also be impossible. But it depends what are the purpose which we are looking for to sustain to make the seed pipes cross over there. Whether some other consideration need to be taken care of which fulfill our purpose is also one of the concern which one may look for. Okay. Now they these seed piles was required additional support at some point of time. So such as anchor, type X, if written material is too heavy, if some material are very much heavy, so some support has been provided to this also to sustain at that location. So that is one of the aspects which need to be entertained, which need to be understood. Now, see, we have discussed these concepts. Now we take some problems. Okay, before taking the problem, first of all, discuss all the concepts. Now we see the applications. We have seen the it in different language as well earlier, but we repeated basically the same concepts are repeated in different slides. Specifically, I try to keep it in two slides at some distance. So in order to it will get revised and that will become very much important because it's wherever you go, wherever we read, we must understand its significance, application, advantage, and disadvantage. These 4 points must need to be understood for any topic. Okay, so seed file was are used in a wide variety of applications, like retaining wall for the highway, railway, and the other transportation projects. Bridge equipment as he was, we have seen, we have discussed, it will sometimes help in reducing the chances of the flood at the time of in the rainy season where the flood chances has been high. We have discussed those points over there. Apart from that, the coffer dam application has been also seen the flat seed pile was are used over there when where we have discussed about the type of seed pile was like L type, JD type, U types. Over there, the fourth one is the flat sheet pile was. So that has been discussed how it has been used in the copper dam or the bridge construction and the other marine projects. We have seen in the marine projects like in a river or maybe at the sea over there where the water has been obstructed again and again or sometimes in the wetting and drying process takes place at those locations also seed piles was serve the purpose in a very good manner in order to prevent the sections from getting damaged at a higher rate as compared to other. Okay. Now, you see, the underground structure such as the basement and parking garages over there also these structures have been used. And apart from that, the bulkheads and the other waterfront structures, the landfill containments was are also one of the places over there these applications takes place. Okay. Now the flood protection and the coastal protection structures I already discussed specifically when we are talking about the point number second over here. Okay. Now we will move ahead for the next point. The next point is the construction of seed pile wall. We have discussed about its importance, its different aspects like applications and usage. Now we come to the construction process of the seed pile walls. So Okay. So the seed pile walls are constructed by driving the seed piles into the ground with the help of pile hammer, and the seed piles walls are driven in sequence to design depth along the planned excavation perimeter or the seawater alignment. Once the seed pile walls are in place, they are interlocked from a continuous wall because it has been equally important in order to serve the purpose for which we are looking for. Now, the seed pile wall may be divided into two basic categories. And what are the two categories? Cantilever and anchor. And the construction method generally we divide into two categories as well. That is the backfilled structure and the degraded structure. Okay. Now we will see one by one. So first of all, the construction method. When we are talking about the construction method, the sequence for the backfill structure. That is the first one. Then after that, we will see the degraded structure construction method as well. Okay. Now, the construction method when we are talking about, so the sequence of backfill structure. So it degraded C2 soil in front and back of the proposed structure. In a step 2, drive the seed pile wall. For the step 3, the backfill up to the level of anchor and the place of anchor system. Afterward, the backfill up to the top of the wall. So this is the process by which construction process is going on. When we talk about the second, as it is the construction method degraded structure. So for that, first of all, the seat pile wall has been driven. After that, backfill up to the level of the anchor, and the places of anchor system has been filled. After that, the backfill up to the top of the wall, and then the graded the front side wall takes place. Okay, so I think so. Their image should keep over here for the better understanding. But I think it is understood, and if not, I will take some points or some images during the subsequent class in order to explain it again because I feel should be an image. So I will explain what I am talking about. Okay, no problem. We will look into that. What are the possibilities? Now see the design of sequel walls. The design of the sequel wall is a complex process in itself and it involves a number of factors like the type of soil, height of walls, surcharge load, and the water table. Seat pile walls are typically designed by geotechnical engineers only because this is the aspects of the ground and the ground aspects has been taken care by the civil engineering with the specialty of the geotechnical engineering, not some other specializations because they look into those facts how the soil pressure affect that section so they have the better understanding of those facts in a real sense. Okay, now, see the design of ship file. Also over here, the some points has been provided, some implementation, some application, some concern has been mentioned. So I will read this and when the problem came, I will explain in a detailed way. But up to this, as a concept over here, I will read it. I will not explain because with the problem, I could explain in a better manner. So I will take that problem maybe at the end of this class or maybe in a next class because I think so I didn't have time to take the problem at this concept today. So I will take the problem in the next class, but I will read the concept only. Okay, so these are the steps like the calculating of the active earth pressure, earth calculation of active earth pressure above the excavation is the same as that of the cantilever sheet pile wall in the cohesive soil. The freestanding height is 2c by gamma root k, but if it is completely clay soil, so k is 1, so that is 2c by gamma, and the lateral earth pressure at the bottom of the excavation is gamma into h minus 2c. Again, you know that is k gamma z minus 2c root k. K is 1, so gamma z become gamma h minus 2c root k become minus 2c. So the active earth pressure at the bottom of the excavation become P equal to gamma h minus 2c, where again the gamma is the weight of the soil and the resultant force is going to be Pa into h by 2, which we in another way earlier we know if we are not taking the cohesion in consideration, we then we say 1 by 2 k gamma h square. So this things what I am talking about you understood very easily because I have discussed in very detail during the eighth session of this lecture series. Okay. So again the calculation of the passive earth pressure for the cohesive soil, the friction angle phi is 0, so K and Kp both become 1, and the earth pressure below the excavation P1 is going to be sigma p minus sigma a, that is the 2c minus gamma h minus 2c, that is ultimately going to become the 4c minus gamma h, and assuming the embedded depth d, the resultant force at the bottom of the excavation is, that is the HTPSA is p1 into d, so it will be explained in a serialized manner. Now see the derivation of equation for the d from summation of mo equal to 0, and the summation of mo is going to be HA1 into Y1 minus HBCDF into Y3 equal to 0, where Y1 is like this, that is the 2 into H minus D divided by 3 minus B minus D, while Y3 is H minus B plus D by 2. So the equation can be determined with a trial and error process and ultimately result in the solution of the problem in a better way. So it's similarly determination of anchor force takes place by calculating the anchor force T from summation of Fx equal to 0 and summation of Fx equal to HA1 minus HB minus T, and similarly T is going to be HA1 plus HA2. So you see the image and this, so the understanding will be developed, but this will be discussed in a great detail when we are going to see the problem based on this concept. Okay. Now, similarly, for the design of tie rod and solder beam, the as same as that of the anchored sheet pile wall in the cohesion less wall. The complete process, first of all calculate the freestanding height, then calculate TA, then calculate HA. Afterward, find the P1 value and then ultimately calculate the HBCDF value from the diagram. Afterward, the R and where Y1 and Y2 will be this. So, complete steps have been mentioned up to this. Okay, so this will be taken into detail when we are going to discuss the problems related to these concepts. Now, when we recap this section, we see the seed pile wall is a versatile and effective type of retaining walls that can be used in a wide variety of applications. They are relatively quick and easy to install, and they can be used to retain the wide range of materials. However, the seed pile walls can be expensive to install, and they may require the additional support in some cases. Now, find some more additional information related to this. What are that additional information? The seat pile walls can be either the cantilever or anchor. It has been mentioned earlier as well. But the cantilever seat pile walls rely on the passive resistance of soil to support the retained material. The anchor seat pile was supported by anchor or tie bracket that are connected to the wall and extended into the retained material. Again, the seat pile walls can be either the temporary or permanent. Temporary seat pile walls are typically used to support the excavations and are removed once the excavation is complete. While the permanent seat pile walls are typically used to retain the permanent structures such as the sea walls and coffer dam, the seat pile walls can be coated with a variety of material to protect from the rusting. The common coating include the zinc, epoxy, and polyurethane. Okay, up to this, everything will be clear. Now see some examples of the seatbelt was projects. So we see the practical example. The Thames Barrier in London, England, is a large flood protection system that uses the seatbelt walls to protect the city from flooding. The Panama Canal uses the seatbelt walls to retain the canal wall and to protect the canal from the landslides. Again, the Dutch Delta workers is a series of dams, sluices, and storm sludges and that using the seed pile was to protect the Netherlands from flooding. The seatbelt walls are the critical part of the many infrastructure project around the globe and provide a safe and effective way to retain the earth, water, or some other fill material which we try to retain. Okay, I think so. Everything will be clear. Now, see, now we are moving to the MCQ. We solved some MCQ problem from here, and afterward we will move to the next section. This topic will be closed over there. So let's see how we can move ahead. So over here we will take you know 4 to 5 minute break. Again we will coming back to next section. Okay. Welcome back. Now I will again start our session. Okay, so now we are going to solve the problem of MCQs over here. And the problems which we are going to discuss some of the basic concepts which need to be which are discussed over here. So those concepts which you are taking into account, we are going one by one to solve the some of the problems. Afterward, we will move ahead. Okay. Now, see. You see, the concepts which we are discussed and the theoretical aspects. So we are going to solve some of the questions related to that, and in moving in the similar direction. Afterward, we will try to conquer a conclusion from that section. Okay. So I will start from the first one. So the first problem is, which of the following is not a type of seed pile ball? So we have already seen. Acha, that's point I will discuss in a meanwhile. So which of the following is not a type of seed pile wall? So the cantilever seed pile wall, anchor seed pile wall, cellular seed pile wall, and the gravity seed pile wall. So you already know the different type of seed pile wall. So over here the answer is going to be option number D. That is the gravity seed pile wall. Because the gravity retaining wall we have discussed about during the last session. So the gravity seed pile wall is not actually the type of seed pile wall, while the other three like the cantilever, anchored, and silver are the type of seed pile wall. Now see, the explanation has been given over here. That is, the gravity seed pile walls are not a type of seed pile wall. They are a type of retaining wall that I have already said, and that uses its own weight to resist the lateral earth pressure. Seed pile wall, on the other hand, are typically made up of the interlocking steel or the concrete sections that are driven into the ground. Now, what are the purpose of seed pile wall? The purpose of seed pile wall to retain the soil or water and to protect the structure from erosion or to create a temporary coffer dam or all of the above. So the you have seen to create a temporary coffer dam, we have seen the seed pile wall has been used. When you see the option number B to protect the structure from erosion, you have seen we have used the seed pile wall for that purpose, and then to retain the soil or water, or maybe on another fill material we have seen that has been also used. That also the one of the purpose that has been served by the seed pile wall. So the answer of our problem is going to be the option number D, that is the all of above. See. Now see the explanation as well. That point has been written only, but I will read for you. So the seed pile wall can be used to retain the soil or water, to protect structure from erosion and create a temporary coffer dam. They are a versatile and effective type of retaining wall that is used in a variety of applications. Okay. Now the next problem. What are the two main types of seed pile walls? So the first option is the cantilever and anchor. Second is cellular and gravity. So we know the gravity is not a type of seed pile wall. So the option number B is eliminated. Third is concrete and steel. And fourth is the temporary and permanent. So see, from these options, you must be little bit confused between the option number a and D, but over here the option number A is the correct answer because will talk not talk about the on the basis of usage, but in general, because the rest of the three options are also showing that aspects only. So see, the two main type of sheet pile walls are the cantilever and anchored sheet pile walls. The cantilever sheet pile walls are supported by their own weight and are typically used for the low height applications. The anchored seat pile walls are supported by the anchor that are driven into the ground and are typically used for the high height application, or where there is a high pressure. Okay, high lateral earth pressure. Okay, now see. mm, what is the difference between the cantilever and anchor seat pile wall? So I have already said during the last session as well. Whenever I ask this type of question, we provide the some of the solution in a way so you may answer option number D to be correct over here. But when you read the solution of this problem, you come to know that it provides a solution of the many questions which could be framed on the basis of these options. See, so first of all, the cantilever seat pile wall are supported by their own weight, while the anchor seat pile wall are supported by the anchors. Obviously, the cantilever seat pile walls are typically used for the low height application, while the anchor seat pile walls typically used for the high height application. While the cantilever seat pile walls are more expensive to construct than the anchored seat pile walls, these are the three options, and D option is all of above. I already mentioned the answer, that is D. All of above is going to be our answer. Now, moving to the next problem. Over here, it has been asked what are the advantages of the seat pile wall. They are strong and durable. Obviously, we have seen the steel seat pile wall when we are reading. They are strong and durable. They can be used in the variety of application. Of course, they can retain the soil, water, or some other fill material. They can also uh, serve the purpose while doing the excavation as a temporary support at some point of time. So they serve the variety of purpose. They can be relatively quick and easy to construct in one way or the other. It is easy to construct, might be it has been little bit expensive at some point of time. So the option number of D is going to be our correct answer for this problem, that is the all the above. Now we move to the next problem, and this problem asks what are the disadvantages of using the seat pile walls. So the advantage, it has been talking about the disadvantages of seat pile walls. We have read the disadvantages of seat pile wall during our discussion. So they can be expensive to construct. Obviously, this is one of the great disadvantage. They can be difficult to drive into the ground. Yeah, it is a quick process but difficult to drive into the ground, and it's also depend on the types of ground in which we are providing. So it is difficult. They can be susceptible to corrosion when we use the steel seat pile walls. So the corrosion is also one of the aspects which one should be looked into that. So the option number of D is going to be our correct answer. Now, the next question is what are the sum of the factors that need to be considered when designing a seat pile wall? The some factor we must look into that before considering the designing of the seat pile wall. So the first option over here is the height of the wall, lateral earth pressure, groundwater table. So we know the groundwater table is one of the most important aspects. The lateral earth pressure is equally important because that much pressure is handled by that seat pile wall. And in order to that, we have to design or rectify the solution in the regard. So the option number B is also correct. And the height of the wall is also important because it's solely depend how much pressure it could sustain is also related to the gamma h or the height up to which it is been going to be inserted and ultimately what are the pressure coming at the bottom top or the middle section is equally important going to become. So the option number D is going to be our correct answer. Now the question over here, the sum of the common method used to drive the seat pile wall. Impact of hammer, it has been came 2 to 3 times during our discussion. Vibrative pile driver also came for one time and the hydraulic pressure is also there. So all the question framed over here from the discussion which we have taken just before this section. So the option number D is going to be our correct answer. See, obviously. Now, uh, see, read this question and try to answer. In the meanwhile, I will take some water. Okay. Now, we find that the question over here, what is copper dam? We have came across this term again and again, not again and again, but 3 to 5 times it has been came during our discussion. So the answer need to be provided for this question. So a temporary water height enclosure used to construct the foundations in water or a type of retaining wall or a type of foundation or a type of bridge. What is it? So I think so you understood the solution of this problem is going to be option number A. The temporary water height enclosure used to construct the foundation in water is our correct answer. Now, what is the purpose of using the copper dam? Is the next question. So the purpose is also important because we read from the first class the importance and significance and application, advantages, disadvantages. So the what is the purpose itself? To keep the water out of the excavation area? Obviously, to support the soil around the excavation area. Yes, to provide the safe working environment for the construction worker. Yes. So all of the above is the correct answer over here. Okay. See. Now the next question is what is cellular seed pile wall? So it is a type of seed pile wall that is made of internal locking structures that are filled with concrete soil. Okay. And the second option is tape, a type of seed pile wall that is used to retain the high lateral earth pressure, or a type of seed pile wall that is used in the deep water application. So I think so you are little or more clear about the answer of this problem, and that solution is going to be option number D. Sorry, option number A. Option number A, because it is talking about the cellular seed pile wall. So the a type of seed pile wall that is made to interlocking steel cells that are filled with the concrete or soil. So the option number A is going to be our correct answer. Now, some more question is there. So I will join you in 2 minutes. So you can also take the 2 minute break, but in the meanwhile, read this question and try to answer the solution of this question. Hello everyone. So I think so you have read the problem and keep the understand the solution. Okay. See, I will read the question and state the solution of this problem for you. Okay. See, the question over here is question is stating that what are the common problems that can occur during the seed pile wall construction? So the solution of this problem is some of the common problems that can occur during the seed pile wall construction includes the difficulty in driving the seed pile walls, seed piles, and this can be caused by the hard soil obstruction or the improper pile driving equipments. Obviously, this is the problem which is going to take place. So these are the questions. I have kept the three questions like this. Three, I think three or four maybe we see in the coming slide. So you must prepare these questions. I will again suggest for the people who are attending over here as well as those who are going to see on YouTube must prepare these questions. These are the most important theoretical questions which has been asked from this topic. So difficulty difficulty in driving the seat piles. So this can be caused by the hard soil obstruction or improper pile driving equipment. Now, the damage to the seat piles could also take place. This can be caused by the improper handling or the transportation, and this takes place normally because the quality control could not take place over there. The expertise people are not looking into that. Then this problem arise at some point of time and it may take place due to the heating of the stackers during driving because these pile walls, C-piles walls are very heavy, maybe sometimes getting out of the vehicle. So these problems could arise. Some other problems like leak or some other problems like leak or seepage. This can occur if the seat piles are not properly interlocked or if there are holes in the material. Now, the corrosion is another factor which takes place, which could lead to the problem over there. Now, this can reduce the strength and durability of the wall at a time. Now, see this question and try to write the answer for this question. Okay. Uh, ha- see. Okay. So the how can these problems can be prevented? The problem has been stated that like this type of problem is there, that type of problem is there. So the prevention from this problem uh, can also be there. So there are a number of things that can be done to prevent the problem during the seed pile walls construction. So what are those points which we are looking into that? So there are the number of things that can be done to prevent the problem during the seed pile seed pile wall constructions. So there are the number of things that can be done to prevent the problem during the seed pile walls construction, including the proper design and engineering. The seed pile walls should be designed by qualified engineer to ensure that it is strong enough to withstand and anticipated loads. Apart from that, Apart from that, the use of the correct equipment is also important, which we have discussed in the previous section as well. The problem is there, so the solution of problem is also in those. Solution only. The problem has been arising due to the incorrect equipment. So we use the correct equipment, the problem is solved. This is very simple, like this. And apart from that, the seed pile walls should be driven using the correct equipment and be experienced personnel should be there in order to execute those things. The proper handling and transportation is one of the important aspects and one of the important aspect. The seed pile wall should be handled and transported to avoid damage because this is also the problem which has been generated over there. The inspection and testing. The seed pile walls should be inspected and tested before and after to ensure that they are in the good condition and that the wall has been properly constructed. Now, question. What are the some common seed pile walls failure mode? Some common failure modes of the seed pile walls are include the overturning. This occur when the wall subjected to a movement that exceeds its overturning resistance. This will lead to the overturning failure of the seat pile was because the seat pile was also fail in a certain arrangement. We have seen the failure of retaining wall, not in this subject, but because retaining wall that the design consideration we have not read during this session, during these last 10 sessions, but we know the overturning, sliding, this type of failure takes place. So when we talk about the seat pile walls, what are the common type of failures? So the overturning is one of them. This occurs when the wall is subjected to the moment that exceeds its overturning resistance. Sliding is the second. That is, this occurs when the shear force on the wall exceeds its sliding resistance. Afterward, the failure of interlocks also takes place. Interlocks has been provided at the downward direction to increase the factor of safety in a way, or maybe if the required factor of safety, the critical factor of safety couldn't sustain, and in those cases, the interlocking has been provided at the bottom that provide the extra edge to the strength. Now, this can occur due to corrosion damage or improper installation. Now, failure of soil. The failure of soil, this can also occur due to the overloading, erosion, or liquefaction. If the soil has been loaded to the extreme low level of load, which it could not sustain in any case, that also lead to the failure of the system in a true sense. Okay. Now, moving to the next question. Okay, so this is the fourth question. The question is how can the seed pile wall failure be prevented? So if the question is there, the solution must need to be stated. The solution is the proper designing and engineering. When we talk about the proper designing and engineering, we will see what do we mean by that. We mean the seed pile wall should be designed by a qualified person, qualified engineers to ensure that it is strong enough to withstand the anticipated load and the soil condition. Use of high quality seed piles is also important because these are the structure of the very important. So the high quality material has been used, which has been used for the construction of seat piles is equally important. Seat pile walls should be made of the high quality material and should have a properly coated to protect from corrosion because corrosion is one of the important aspects which they faces on a regular basis. The installation is equally important. Simple walls should be installed by the person who are experienced in that field. Must be the all the person not be experienced, but in the supervision of experienced person, this has need to be executed in order to provide the correct strength resistance and the correct equipment is also uh, provided by the experienced personnel as well as they know how to use those equipments in a true sense in order to achieve the desired result. The inspection and maintenance is one of the important factors. The CPI was should be inspected and maintained regularly to identify, repair the any potential problem which could take place. Sheet pile wall is a reliable and effective way to retain the earth, water, and other fill material. However, it is important to be aware about the potential problems that can occur during the construction and in services. By taking the necessary precautions, these problems can be prevented, and the sheet pile wall can be expected to be very much useful, and it has been repeatedly used in a useful life. It has been used for the temporary construction process. Okay, now we have moved to the another topic, that is the anchored bulkheads. So first of all, we need to understand the meaning of anchor bulkhead. Then we go step by step in that and understand what are the different aspects which we are looking at and which we need to understand in order to achieve the desired results. Okay, I think so. Okay, I think so. So first of all, we will start with the introduction of this section, and then we go ahead one by one to understand the different aspects. So first of all, see in introduction, the first of all start with the definition of anchor bulkhead. Anchor bulkhead are the structural system used in the civil engineering to retain the earth or water, commonly found along the shoreline, river banks, and in the construction projects to prevent the soil erosion and provide stability. When you talk about the importance in the civil engineering, anchor bulkhead are essential in the civil engineering because they help control soil erosion, protect structure from water encroachment, and provide the stability in area with the varying water levels. Overview, when we talk about this presentation, these sections which we are taking over here. So in this presentation, we will cover the classification and the type of bulkhead, their key components, design consideration, anchoring systems, construction method, and many more things. So we will go one by one. So first of all, see the bulkhead types. First of all, we look into that a different type of bulkhead types we have. Okay. So first of all, is there the classification of bulkhead? The bulkhead can be categorized into the different types, including the gravity bulkhead, anchored bulkhead, cantilever bulkhead, each with the specific design and construction characteristics. Anchor bulkheads, when compared with the other type, the anchor bulkhead differ from the other type in that they rely on the anchor to provide they rely on anchor to provide the additional stability, making them suitable for application where high lateral forces are expected. ठीक है? Huge cases for the anchored bulkhead. Anchor bulkhead are commonly used in the waterfront properties, infrastructure projects, and the flood protection system, where the erosion control and the stability are critical. Now the key components of anchor bulkhead. Some of the key components we should look into that. The structural component, the anchor bulkhead consists of the structural element such as facing, tie backs, and bracings for stability. The anchoring system can include the deadman anchors, tension anchors, helical anchors, and soil nails, which provide the necessary lateral support. Apart from that, when we talk about the facing material, the choice of facing material depends on the factors like durability, aesthetics, and environmental conditions. When we talk about the drainage systems, when we talking about the key components, so when we talk about the drainage system, Those drainage systems are essential for managing the water build up behind the bulkhead and preventing the erosion. Now, see, in the design consideration. When we talk about the design consideration, some of the factors we should look into that. The factors that affect the bulkhead design. So, what are those factors? The bulkhead design is influenced by the factors such as soil type. Obviously, anything which has been constructed on the soil must have the sum of the effect of the soil type which are over there. The water level is the one of the important factors because from initially it has been said that the biggest problem, the biggest enemy of the soil is water intrusion. The water table presence result in the change in strength. If there is no water, the designing will be very much easy. But if there is a water, so that is one of the biggest problems. The water level fluctuations it takes place. If the water level varying from one level to another level during its construction or after its construction. So the extra factor of safety need to be taken care of. So it become one of the important problem as well as aspects which one should look into that while designing. And next is the environmental regulation. Environmental regulation is equally important before designing the bulkhead. And the site specific conditions are the things which has been eligible for one and all problem which one should look into. Now, the load calculations. When you talk about the load calculations, engineers perform the load calculation to determine the factor that the bulkhead must resist, including the lateral soil pressure, water pressure, and the other external loads. Now, when we talk about the aspects of the geotechnical engineering, its considerations include the soil stability assessment, bearing capacity analysis, and the soil behavior under the various conditions. Now, you see, when you talk about the type of anchors, so over here the some of the type of anchors we are looking into that. So what are these type of anchors? So the deadman anchors. When we talk about the deadman anchors, so deadman anchors are the unit structure that provide resistance against the lateral movement by distributing loads into the soil. When we talk about the tension anchors are the tensor element that counteract lateral forces and enhance the bulkhead stability. When we talk about the helical anchor, these are the anchor which are twisted into the ground and used in challenging soil conditions to provide the anchorage. The next one is the soil nail. We talked about this earlier as well, but this soil nail are installed within the soil mass to improve the stability and the anchor can be made of a material like the steel or the reinforced concrete chosen based on their strength and corrosion resistance. Okay. Okay. Now the load transfer mechanism is also one of the important aspects because wherever whatever we read over here, load transfer mechanism must need to understand. So how the anchor transfer the load. Anchor transfer load by resisting movement through friction or bearing against the surrounding soil or rock. Intersection with soil, interaction with soil, when we look into that, the effectiveness of anchor depend on their con, uh, inter interaction with soil, which must be carefully considered in design, ensuring stability. The stability is ensured by the proper design to ensure the anchors effectively stabilize the bulkhead against the external forces. Now, when we talk about the construction method, the bulkhead installation involves the site preparation, anchor placement, facing installations, and the other construction steps. When we talk about the safety measures during the construction include ensuring the worker safety, minimizing environmental impact, and following relevant regulations. When we talk about the case study highlight the real world anchor bulkhead projects, illustrating the construction challenges and innovative solutions. So that becomes one of the important aspect. Now see, the facing material, the material used in the bulkhead, ma- facing material means the material which we are doing in the bulkhead we are looking for. So the material for the bulkhead spacing include the timber, steel, concrete, vinyl chosen based on the factors such as the durability and aesthetics. So whatever we are looking at, according to that we find. When you talk about the pros and cons of the different materials, so the different materials offer the advantages, disadvantages in terms of the cost, longevity and the appearance. When we talk about the aesthetic consideration in the residential area, the aesthetic consideration may influence the choice of the facing material to complement the surroundings. And when we talk about the drainage system, the importance of drainage system are the crucial to prevent the water buildup behind the bulkhead, which can lead to instability. When we talk about the types of drainage system can include weak hose, French drains and the composite drains tailored or to the specific project needs. Okay, these images should also be put over here, so you could see how this different type of drains works. But that is not of the crucial importance over here. Okay, now we talk about the maintenance consideration. So the regular maintenance of the drainage system is essential to ensure the function effectively over the time. Now we move to the next title like understanding Earth's accessories. Okay, no, this is not the case. We are talking about the anchored bulkhead only. We are not moving to any other section. We are right the introduction of that section what we have read up to this time. Okay, so we will go ahead with this. See, okay, so we have approximately 6 minutes. Okay, no problem. I will take this section up to which extent we could go, and afterward we will conclude the session for today, and then we will come again in the next session. We will start from this topic only because some points may be left. Maybe anchor bulkhead will be completed before the end of the session. So let's see what can happen. We will do our work accordingly. Now, the anchor bulkhead are the retaining wall that are used to prevent the soil erosion and to provide the area suitable for docking. Anchor bulkheads are typically constructed by driving steel sheet piles into the ground and then anchoring them to a tieback system. The tieback system can be made up of steel, cables, rods, or strips. The anchor bulkheads are used in a variety of applications that include a waterfront structures. We have also seen this definition and these things earlier as well, but again, for the better understanding, the waterfront construction, river stabilization, highway and railway construction, and the land reclamation. Over these spaces, the anchor bulkhead are used, and its application has been stated over here. Okay. See, now we see the component of the anchor bulkhead. What are the components which are there of the anchor bulkhead? We will look into that. Okay. So see the seat piles. The seat piles are the vertical wall that retain the soil. It is the component of anchor bulkhead. Tie backs. The tie backs anchor the seat piles to the ground. So this is also of the one of the important. Apart from that, the water, the horizontal beam that connects the top of the seat piles, and then the coping. The coping is a cap that protects the top of the seat pile from erosion. And the gravity bulkhead, rely on their own weight to resist the lateral earth pressure from the soil. So it is also one of the components. When we talk about the cantilever bulkhead rely on a tie-back system to resist the lateral pressure from the soil. So these are the components of anchor bulkhead which we are talking about over here in this section. Now moving to the next thing, that is the type of anchor bulkhead. So we have also know that the gravity bulkhead and the cantilever bulkhead are the types of the types of the anchor bulkhead. When we talk about the gravity bulkhead rely on their own weight to resist the lateral pressure from the soil, while the gravity bulkhead is typically used in the shallow water application, and because this application is suitable for this type of gravity bulkhead. Now when we see the cantilever bulkhead rely on the tie-back system to resist the lateral pressure from the soil. The cantilever bulkhead are typically used in the deep water application. So there is a difference is also stated over here. In some question I will frame. I have to frame. So the difference between the gravity and cantilever bulkhead could also be one of the problem, one of the questions over there. Okay. I think so. Up to this, there will be no problem. See. Now, the design of anchor bulkhead depends on the type of soil. It has been also stated earlier as well, but this time with proper consideration. So, the design of anchor bulkhead depends upon the type of soil, the depth of water, the height of bulkhead, the surcharge load of the bulkhead. So these are the four factors on which the design of the anchor bulkhead depends. So this is become one of the important aspects. Now, the construction of anchor bulkhead is also one of the important things which we are looking into that. The construction of anchor bulkhead typically involves the following steps. What are those steps? The seat piles are driven into the ground, the tie backs are installed, the water vault is connected to the top of the seat piles. A coping is placed on the top of the seat piles. We have discussed about the vault and coping things in 4 or 5 slides earlier in this section only. So these things has been understood. Okay, so I will go ahead. Going ahead, the design of anchor bulkhead. The seat piles are driven into the ground, tie backs are installed, the valve is connected to the top of the seat pile, the coping is placed on the top of the seat pile, and when we talk about the advantages it offers, the anchor bulkhead, so they can install in the variety of soil conditions, they can be installed in the confined spaces. They have a high load bearing capacity. They are relatively quick and easy to install. And apart from that, they can be expensive to install. They require the regular maintenance and inspection. They are susceptible to corrosion. So this is not the advantage in the real sense. Regular maintenance and inspection. So these are not advantages. These are the disadvantages. See, these are the disadvantages. I will correct over here. Disadvantages of the interval. Okay. And the advantages are they can install in a variety of soil. They can install in a confined spaces. They have a high load bearing capacity. They are relatively quick and easy to install. Are the advantages. While the disadvantages are see the disadvantages are they can be expensive to install. They require the regular maintenance and inspection. They are susceptible to corrosion. Okay. Now, the benefits of anchored bulkheads. Anchor bulkheads have a number of benefits, which include the that they can install in a variety of soil conditions. It doesn't depend like this type of soil condition is only required for its installation, and they can be installed in the confined spaces. They have a high load bearing capacity. They are relatively quick and easy to install. When we say relatively quick, we are talking with respect to other methods, other factors which we consider in our day-to-day life. When you talk about the disadvantages, so expensive to install, we already mentioned, they require the regular maintenance, already mentioned. They are susceptible to corrosion. It has been also already mentioned. Now, the application. Application is also important part, but the waterfront construction, river bank stabilization, highway and railway construction, land reclamation are the some of the application which anchor bulkhead provide in a true sense. Now, when we move to the history of the anchored bulkheads, we should look into the history where it started and how it's move on. So the anchor bulkhead have been used over the 100 years. Its first anchor bulkhead were built in late 19th century to protect the coastline of Europe and the North America from erosion. The anchor bulkhead were also used extensively in the construction of the Panama Canal in early 20th century, and it is a very famous canal. The types of tieback system when we talk about, so there are the two types, the passive tiebacks and the active tiebacks. When we talk about the passive tiebacks rely on the friction between the tieback and the soil resistance, resist the lateral pressure from the soil. When we talk about the active tiebacks rely on the tension in the tieback to resist the lateral pressure from the soil. Design process for the anchored bulkheads. So we will look into these things as well, but I think so. Okay, we will see this second afterward. We will end. The site investigation. Site investigation. Geotechnical engineer will perform a site investigation to determine the soil condition at the site. Structural analysis, the analysis of structure, engineer will perform the structural analysis to determine the load that will be applied to the bulkhead, and the design of seat pile walls will be talking about the structural and the geotechnical engineers will design the seat pile walls sorry, to resist the lateral earth pressure from the soil surcharge load, and the design of a tieback system also taken. The structural engineer will design the tieback system to resist the lateral pressure from the soil and to anchor the seat pile wall to the ground. The preparation of site, the site is prepared by clearing the area of the debris and leveling the ground. When we talk about the process of construction, the preparation of site takes place. The site is prepared by clearing the area and dividing the seed piles. The seed piles are divided into the ground using the vibratory hammer or the hydrostatic hammer. We have taken this option correct while solving the question earlier. The installation of tie break. The tie break installed using the variety of methods such as the drilling, grouting, or jetting, the construction of water and coping the water connected to the top of the seed piles and the coping placed on the top of the seed piles. Again, moving to the history, this is not actually the history. The driving of this is the design only. The driving of seed piles, the seed piles um, the seed piles are driven into the ground using the vibratory hammer or the hydrostatic hammer. The installation of tie bags are installed using the variety of methods such as drilling and grouting or jetting. The construction of weller and coping the water is connected to the top of the seed pile, and coping is placed on the top of the seed piles. The pile driving test are performed to ensure the seed piles are driven to the correct depth and that they are properly embedded in the soil. When we talk about the tiebacks load test, the tieback load test are performed to ensure that the tiebacks can withstand the design load. Welding inspections are performed to ensure the welds between the seed piles and the weller are sound. When you talk about the cost of anchored bulkheads, the cost of anchored bulkheads vary depending upon the different factors like the size of bulkhead, the soil condition, and the depth of water. The construction of anchored bulkheads can disrupt. marine ecosystem and can lead to the loss of habitat for fish and other wildlife. The anchor bulkhead can also reflect waves and currents, which can erode beaches and damage the coastal ecosystem. When we talk about the quality control of the anchor bulkhead, so see, I think so. There is some more points has been left. So we will end the session over here only because the time has been already reached. And we will start the session so again in the next class. So these are the some of the references which I have followed for this session, and I will suggest you to go ahead with the presentation which I will share. Read all the concepts uh, and see whether any confusion is there. So you can ask me in subsequent sessions, and try to specifically I will suggest to try to solve the problems whatever has been came on the sheet file was in any books or in any papers, any questions you found, and with this I will conclude today's session. So wish you a happy weekend and see you in the next session. So only two sessions left after this. So be there if any doubts is there from the earlier session, I will also clarify. And it may be a chances that after the 12th session, one more session I will take in which 1 hour session has been taken, in which quick revision of all the things which have been discussed up to now will be uh, taken care of, has been stated in a one way. Okay, so now I will conclude the session. Thank you everyone for joining. We will meet you again for the next session on next Saturday from 3 to 5. Thank you very much.